So let me now quickly run down a list of the top mistakes that psychedelic users make. These are the top ones. Number one is treating psychedelics like toys, not taking them seriously enough. Number two is simply just being immature about the whole process and being immature themselves, which is why I would recommend that if you're immature, don't do psychedelics at all. You're gonna screw it up. Maturity is one of the most important factors. Number three is just doing large doses and not measuring them accurately. This is such a huge mistake. Number four is frequent and chronic usage of psychedelics. Number five is tripping in dangerous areas with friends in social environments where there's a lot of noise and distraction. Number six is moving around too much, running around, not sitting still, not contemplating. I read trip reports of people who take some mushrooms and in the middle of the trip, they strip off all their clothes and then run down the street naked, screaming. This kind of stupidity will get you into trouble. This is what I mean by immaturity. If you can't control yourself, don't trip. Sometimes people tell me, well, Leo, but on a psychedelic trip, I'm supposed to be free. I just want to let myself go. Yeah, but you can't let yourself go so much that you jump off a balcony. You can't let yourself go so much that you strip off all your clothes and then you jump through your neighbor's window into their living room. If you can't control yourself from doing those things, if that's too much to ask of you, then don't trip. The next top mistake is mental illness. People with mental illness who are immature and mentally unstable, they get into psychedelics and then they spiral out of control and their mental illness just gets worse. And then they just keep doing it more. The next top mistake is Zen devilry. Go see my episode called Becoming a Zen Devil. That explains how that works. And the next couple of mistakes are not enough theoretical foundation, which is all the stuff that I teach with actualize.org. The metaphysics, the epistemics, the spiritual theory, the non-dual theory, the consciousness work. And then the next mistake is not doing the manual labor of personally developing yourself and of spiritual growth, assuming that the psychedelic will handle everything for you. You don't need to meditate. You don't need to contemplate anything. You don't need to read any books anymore. You don't got to do any practices anymore. You don't got to watch any videos anymore. You just fly by the seat of your pants and you just do psychedelics. This is going to be a disaster. And the final mistake, and this one's very counterintuitive. You know what the final one is? It's actually when you do a few trips and you tell yourself, okay, I got it. I got the message, now I'm hanging up the phone. I understand what psychedelics are. That is the final mistake. If you've only done 5 or 10 trips, or even 20 trips, you have no clue what psychedelics are. No clue. You're just a baby. It's like you're in first grade. You know nothing about the world yet from 20 trips. It requires about 100 trips just to start to get your bearings on what psychedelics are and how they work and their potential for spiritual growth. I see a lot of people fooling themselves, telling me, oh yeah, I've done psychedelics. I know what they're all about. And they've only done 5 trips. This is laughable. It's totally laughable. So don't fall into that mistake. But of course, you have to spread your trips out. I am not saying that you got to do a bunch of trips back to back. Treat this process as a long-term process. It's going to be a multi-year-long process of you exploring this territory through dozens and ultimately hundreds of trips. And precisely because you're spreading it out and there's going to be so much work here, you got to be very careful and methodical about it and follow the protocol. Because the more you do something that's dangerous, the more risk is incurred. So the more you're going to do it, the more careful you have to be.